Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to go ahead and analyze a game that was played against One Wish rated 440 against a Limp 07 rated 1560. And the game started out like this. Knight to f3, and this is a good move because it gets the knight out toward the center. Just to let you know, most people move the pawn out to e4 and d4. I think this is more popular. Moving the knight out first, it's perfectly fine, but I feel like it's less common. Okay. Okay, d5 and then g3. And with this move, it lets this bishop to go to g2, and then this bishop is on the long diagonal. So that's good. Personally, for me, is if I was playing in this position, I would probably move the pawn to d4, so I can have at least one pawn in the center. Okay, but One Wish moved the pawn to g3, then knight to c6. I think this is okay. If I was playing in this position, I would probably go c5 in this position, or maybe knight to f6. But the knight to c6, I think that's okay. Bishop goes here, and again, this move gets the bishop on the long diagonal, but personally for me, if I was playing in this position, I would definitely have gone pawn to d4 so I can get a pawn in the center, because again, these are the center squares. If you can have at least one pawn in the center, that would be good. Okay, bishop to g2, and then bishop goes to f5, so notice that the bishop is attacking this pawn. And then when Wish decided to castle, again, I think castling, I think it's okay, but personally, for me, I would probably again maybe move the pawn to d4. So I can get at least one pawn in the center. But okay, she castles, and then pawn goes to e5, and then pawn to d3. So I think right now the position is equal, so that's okay. Bishop to d6 just to get the bishop out, and then knight goes to h4. Is this move necessary? I mean, okay, the knight's on the edge, and it's also attacking this bishop. I think in this position, personally, for me, I would probably still have maybe moved the knight to c3, because you want to get all the knights and bishops out. I noticed that if you move this knight out, it does attack the bishop, but notice this bishop now, I'm sorry, notice that this knight is on the edge of the board. So I don't know about this move, but okay. So bishop goes to g4. Notice that it's pinning the pawn to the queen. And then white captures the pawn, so that is great. And let's see what happens now. Knight goes here, and it's attacking the bishop. And then One Wish decides to move it back, and I think that's fine. Let's see what happens now. Queen goes here. Notice the queen and the bishop, they're on the same diagonal. Sometimes what people do is they will move the bishop to h3 to trade the bishop. And let's see what white does. White decides to go rook to e1. I also think that maybe moving the knight to c3 would also be good. Or maybe moving the knight back. I mean, because we've got to get these knights and bishops out. But okay, rook e1, and then castles. If you like watching my videos, I do invite you to subscribe to my channel. And if you're rated below 1000, I invite you to send me one of your games, and I will be happy to analyze your chess game for my YouTube channel for free. Okay, So black decides to castle queenside, and then knight to d2. So my question is, what is white's plan? Notice that the a2 pawn cannot move because the bishop is pinning the pawn to the queen. But the other thing is like, okay, this bishop can't get out. But let's see what happens. Pawn goes to g5. Okay, so black is attacking now, and let's see what happens. The knight goes back to f3. That's a good move. You don't want to lose a knight for a pawn, so moving the knight back, that's fair. And then pawn goes to h5. And now black is definitely trying to do a pawn storm with the pawns. So we have to be very careful about that. White decides to go ahead and take this pawn, and this is a good move. It is a free pawn, but you have to be careful because it does open up lines for the rook. And then that's what happens. Okay. Believe it or not, white is actually winning, and white is actually up 3.1 points right now. And notice right now the rook, it is attacking this knight, and white decided to go here. But my recommendation is to move the pawn up to h4. And the reason why is because this pawn, it protects the knight, but also notice that if you move pawn to h4, also notice that it stops this pawn from moving forward to h4. And I also noticed, then perhaps the knight can also go to e4, and then I think this would be a good setup for white. But moving on, rook goes there, and then one wish decides to go knight df3. After that, the pawn moves forward, and then white needs to be careful about the attack. Let's see what happens. Yep, so knight takes pawn. It's a good move. Notice it's not safe for this rook to take the knight because the bishop is protecting it. So let's see what happens. Bishop goes there. And then after that, the knight takes the pawn. Okay. That's interesting. Okay. So it's attacking the rook right now. And let's see what happens now. Okay, this is when things get kind of crazy right now. The rook takes the knight, and now the pawn takes it. And then now this is getting very dangerous right now because black decides to go bishop to h3. And if you notice, the rook and the bishop are attacking this bishop, and this is not good for white. But let's see what happens. So the knight goes back. That makes sense. But okay, so what happens is the knight goes to h5, and actually black actually misses a checkmate and 2. Black should have moved the queen over to g4, and then there's no way to protect this bishop on g2. So black didn't miss the checkmate. Okay, but knight goes there, and then what happens now? So the pawn goes to e4. Okay, so that's very interesting. So in this position, what I would probably do is I think we can just safely just take this bishop, because if the queen takes, then this bishop can go to g5, and then right now this queen is under attack. This bishop is no longer pinned anymore. So that's what I would probably do. But just to see what happened in the actual game is okay, so knight goes there, and then now notice the knight and the bishop, they're attacking this bishop right here. And then queen goes to f3, and I mean this is understandable. I mean, because what's going on is the queen's protecting this bishop. This is pretty tough. So bishop takes, and then one wish decides to take the bishop with the queen, and I'm not really too sure why she did that, because the best move in this position is to move the queen over to g3. It's not necessary to sack the queen for the bishop. If the queen goes here, then white is actually okay. I mean, notice that if the knight does go here and check, well, guess what? This bishop is not protected. The king can simply just take the bishop, right? Or if the knight goes here, then the rook can just take the knight. So queen to g3 should have been played, but okay, queen takes bishop, knight takes, king takes it, and then right now white is down a queen. This is not very good. Bishop takes, queen goes here. This is a very hard position to play. King goes here. I mean, okay. Queen goes there, check. King goes there. That's the only move. Knight goes here. This is still very tough. Notice this bishop, it is pinned to the king. Rook goes here. And then okay, so knight goes there. And then king goes to f1. That makes sense. Queen goes there. King takes knight, and then queen takes rook right now, and white's in a losing position right now. This is a very hard position to play, because this queen can just eat up these pawns. So king goes there, I guess, to protect this pawn, I guess. Okay, and then queen goes there. It's attacking this pawn. Rook to f1. That makes sense. Pawn goes to c5. Rook goes here. Notice that this rook right now, notice that it's on the 7th rank and it traps the king on the edge. Okay. Pawn goes there. We don't have to take it. Okay. I don't think taking the pawn, I don't think that's necessary. But okay, pawn takes, queen goes there. Okay, so queen's attacking more pawns. Oh, also notice the queen is also attacking the rook too. So queen goes to f3. And then now the rook, it's attacking the king right now. And okay, so king goes there. Okay, pawn takes. So queen takes. This is very hard right now, and then that's a checkmate. So I thought it was a good try for one wish. So yeah, it was a good try by one wish, and yep. So this is a checkmate. Thanks to this rook. I hope you like watching my videos. If you would like to support my channel, all you need to do is to go click the support my channel button. On this page, then you can give a donation. Thanks in advance if you do that. If you like watching my videos, then I also invite you to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.